We're honored to have this gentleman back. He's been with us before when we were doing Good Morning East Valley, and probably our most popular guest we've ever had. He began his career as a federal narcotics agent. He's going to tell us a lot more about that. This is truly a gentleman that needs no introduction, other than saying we're proud to have him here today. He's America's toughest sheriff. How about a big round of applause for Mr. Joe Arpaio?
Good to have you here, sir. Have a seat.
I like that. Did you recognize the song there? I Did It My Way?
That's right, that's my song. I usually sing it, but I'm a comedian, singer, and the sheriff, just like you are. Anyway, thank you, because he's done a lot volunteering his services. You were my neighbor one time.
Yeah, one time we were neighbors in Scottsdale, and then once you moved away, there was no reason for me to stick around.
It wasn't Scottsdale address, it was Phoenix.
Well, it was a Phoenix address, sure.
Also, now I live in a good town,
Yeah.
Fountain Hills.
You moved to Fountain Hills,
Yeah.
and I moved to Carefree. But we're happy to be in Mesa today, aren't we?
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. And as Sheriff Joe mentioned, I've done some work with your MASH unit for your animals. And if you ever get a chance to come and support one of these charities, it's hilarious because he always has your Elvis impersonator, who works for you, right?
Right.
He comes up and does a couple of Elvis songs, and then he and Joe both sing My Way together. And there's a reason it's not on iTunes.
The reason is they donate just to have me shut my mouth. So that's how you raise money, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at fundraising.
It's America's toughest sheriff and toughest singer.
It's the world's toughest sheriff.
Oh, there you go.
Let's get it straight.
Let me make some notes here. Fire my editor. Well, good to have you here.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. And boy, where do we begin? We're on limited time. We could talk till Wednesday, but what's going on in the Sheriff's Department? What would you like to talk about today?
Well, let me say something that not many people know about me. I joined the Army the day the Korean War broke out. I was a cop in Washington, cop in Vegas, locked up Elvis, my name to fame, and then I was with the Federal Drug Enforcement Administration for 28 years as director in Mexico City, South America, Turkey, Middle East, Texas, Arizona. At least I know where the U.S. border is. I retired as head of the Federal Drug Enforcement here because I wanted to go in small business. So I joined my wife in her business in 1982. She opened it in 80, Scott So and Shea. Still there, by the way. It's not doing very well, but my son runs it. But it's a travel business. So we've been in business 1980, and we're still there, same building, same location. Our son runs it. But it's tough. My wife, I had to work for her. And for 10 years, we ran the business. The reason I wanted to get into small business so I could be my own boss. You know, with the government, you always have to report to somebody. So I wanted to just do my own thing. And we did pretty good. We worked hard, my wife and I. I'm a big proponent. I love small business people. Love this building. This is a great organization, the beer company here, Crescent. But they're nice people. I just wish all of you one day can buy a nice building like this. And I have no jealousies. I do know if you make a lot of money, some people are jealous of you for doing that. But you have to work hard. You have to take risk. And you deserve every penny you make. I've been through it. And I decided in 1992, not because my wife never gave me a free airline ticket, but I decided to run for sheriff in 1992. And one reason I like this job, probably the main reason, is the fact that I have no bosses except the 4 million people that live here. I don't have to report to any president, governor, politician, bureaucrat. I report to the people Because if I had to report to I don't see the mayor here, or the city manager, or planning director, I would have been fired 20 years ago. There'd be no pink underwear, no tents, no nothing. So it's great to be the elected sheriff. And I made a big mistake when I ran the first time. I wasn't drinking too much beer. But I said the sheriff should be appointed and not elected. Can you believe what I said? As I say, I would have been fired 20 years ago. So, big supporter of small business. And I feel sorry sometimes for all of you, the way the economy is. But this is the greatest country in the world. And just work hard, and you will be successful. If you're not already, I'm not saying you're not. So anything I can do as the sheriff, I know I'm taking a little heat. I take a lot of heat, right?
Well,
I'm taking heat every day.
Your name comes up every now and then.
I was just interviewed by Japanese television yesterday. I must have been on 5,000 profiles overseas, forget the United States. They come all the time to talk to me. I think last week I had Ireland. They're from everywhere. What do they want to talk to me about? I'm not the president. So I do take some heat. I am controversial. Sometimes when you feel you should do something and not be politically correct, you take heat. But I'm a senior citizen, by the way.
Really?
Well, do you want to see my papers? Or what? So, I'm not asking anybody where you're from, believe me. I do have the Justice Department. I'm in court with them. You know, they sue me. I can go on and on, but I have a great management, as you know, is getting things done through people. I'm sure you heard of that theme, if you want to be successful. And you're only as good as the people that work for you. So I support my people. I don't throw them under the bus for political reasons. So as I say, I'm only as good as we had 4,000 employees. We're down to about 3,500. You know, another thing, I get all the heat for misspending money. What government agency ever gives money back every fiscal year? Every year since I've been the sheriff, I give millions back to the county. You don't think anybody will say, thank you, Sheriff, but that's all right. It's hard to get the word out when you're so-called a politician or you have a lot of people that don't like you. Very difficult to get the true story out. So that's one of the frustrations I have sometimes.
Well, you know, you are in the news a lot, but there's a lot of things that you guys do that doesn't come up, so I thought we'd talk about that. Like your school Posse program. What's that about?
That's new. When I ran for sheriff, I said I want to build up the posse because I remember Roy Rogers and Tom Mix. You know, I go way back. And the sheriff would then get all the business people like you, swear you in as a posse, and go after the bank robbers. Of course, they used to have a tree and they'd hang them before they got back to jail, but that's a different issue.
I think that's illegal now. I'm not sure.
But that's way back in the Western days. And so I said, hey, let's build up the posse. It's free. So we're up to 3,500. And we have air posse. I got 35 airplanes at my disposal because I swear everybody in. They get a badge. They work for free. They furnish everything, saves the taxpayers millions and millions and millions of dollars. So I used the posse. And we just finished our mall program when I ran for sheriff. There was a lot of violence a year prior at the mall. So I sent out the posse so to help you. People can go shopping and not feel they're going to get ripped off. We had no violence in 20 years. And I just decided, why not utilize the posse at the schools? We've had the situation in Connecticut. That triggered me a little, but then we arrested a Mesa high school 16-year-old that we received information from Canada that was going to shoot up the school and bomb the school. No doubt in my mind, But my detectives in 3 hours tracked her to Mesa, and there was guns available. She had her plan, and she would have done it. So she's in jail. And we just arrested another one in Guadalupe. We covered that area with a knife, and just 2 days ago, a 16-year-old took a gun on a bus, school bus, went into the school with the gun, and then came back on a bus with the gun, and we grabbed him. So I decided to send out the Posse. Great program. In fact, tomorrow we will have a training program, and the media from around the world, I presume, will be here because I'm utilizing one of my Posse guys that I swore in 2 years ago is the movie actor Steven Seagal, so he's drawing a little attention, not as much as me. See, everybody says I'm using him to get publicity. No, he's using me to get the publicity.
I'd like to see you two as action heroes in a movie together.
Well, I was at the pre-screening for, the governor of Schwarzenegger,
yeah.
his last movie.
Yeah, literally.
Probably is his last. Posing as the sheriff from Arizona. It's not bad, a lot of gunfire, and you're shooting everybody in there. But, no, it's a great job, and I just got reelected. Of course, there are people that aren't happy with the voters, so they're going after me again, but that's okay. And we'll see what happens.
Well, I know there was a recent Senate bipartisan agreement about immigration laws. What's your take on that? What do you?
How many hours do we have?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let me zero in on something you'll be interested in. It is a complex problem. It's a diplomatic problem. Political problem, as we all know, law enforcement problem. But the workplace, I know I've been a little controversial on that. We've gone into 70 businesses enforcing, trying to get the employer sanction law enforced. With the employers, it's only a civil violation. It should be stronger, but as we go into the places, we find the employees with fake identification, your Social Security, and I don't think that's right. We're number 4 in the nation for ID theft, so the majority of people that we take out of the workplace have fake IDs. That's what we arrest them for, not for being here illegally, but 100% of the people we do arrest are here illegally. So something has to be done from Washington, which they've been talking about it for, 6 years, 8 years. All they do is talk. They're talking now, but I presume something will be done on the illegal immigration because of a lot of politics involved. Everybody's saying, oh, we have to do something because Obama got 70% of the Hispanic vote. Now, I'm Republican, but now everybody wants to do something. Why do they have to use that? How come they haven't been doing something years ago to try to get this problem alleviated? But the bottom line, I'm the poster guy right from the White House. Obama knows who I am, and I'm not worried about being the poster boy. But if that helps to get something done, it's okay with me. But the bottom line with me, I took an oath of office to enforce all the laws, and as long as those laws are on the books, this sheriff is going to enforce them. Whether it's controversial or not, I will enforce those laws, and I think I'm going to prove it in a few more hours from now. See, I'm a busy guy. I do so many things. You have to do that. You can't back down and hide because of politics. So once again, I hope something is done about it. The border, I've covered the border for 14 years as the top federal law enforcement official. I don't see Obama calling me to the White House and having a little beer like he did when they arrested that Cambridge police sergeant arrested a black guy in a university. He stuck his nose in it, and they called them all to the White House. How come they don't call me?
I got an idea. Let's invite him here for a beer. We got 1 million cases on that.
Well, I'm glad you picked this company for that.
You mentioned a couple of words that caught my attention. You said something about ID theft. Boy, I guess anybody can be a victim of that, huh?
Well, you know, people say that here I am talking to 35 religious Hispanic people at the City Hall, you know, trying to reach out to them, trying to explain why we do things. I think they just had a couple of Hispanic stations. I didn't call anybody. That was their show. And all I said when I'm talking about the ID theft is, someone took my credit card and someone did a Twitter. And before you know it, all the TV was calling me and all, you know, geez, you've been ripped off, Sheriff. Yeah, someone took my number and they went shopping in Chicago at the grocery store. I spent $291.46. I never spent that much money at a grocery store. And I haven't been in Chicago. I was a federal agent and married my wife there in 1957. So I wasn't in Chicago, so they got suspicious, called me, and I make all this news. And then Basha's came out. There's some problems with Basha. So I was on Channel 12, and they hit me on that. I'm going to protect the businesses. I said, hey, I love Basha. You know, I go there in Fountain Hills. I'm going back Sunday, and I'm going to use my same credit. No, they gave me a new credit card, but I'm going back and use it again.
Maybe the person that stole it is a Cubs fan, and they'll come out here and you can nab them when they're coming to Mesa.
Cubs fan?
Well, in Chicago.
I'm from Boston. I'm a Red Sox fan. And Celtics.
Well, you're talking about drugs. I know it's a huge problem across the border, and I'm going to come out right now. I may have a problem. I think I'm hooked on deer antler spray.
Viagra? What is that, Viagra?
No, not Viagra. Have you seen the drugs now of the people with taking the deer antler spray? Have you seen?
Never heard of it. What is it?
Google it. It's they're doing it. Pro athletes taking deer antler spray, and it's the tip-off is in the on-deck circle. There's a salt lick.
See, he is a comedian. I don't know what he's talking about. Actually.
Well, you're busy. I have a lot of time on my hands. I've got a note here. The sheriff's office just purchased 400 semi-automatic assault rifles. Why do you need to arm your deputies with these kind of weapons, and how were those guns paid for?
I had a deputy that was shot last month, almost to the day and almost to the hour of my other deputy that was killed in Carefree with automatic rifles. So I'm just going to make sure my deputies have enough firepower to shoot back and defend themselves. That's why I'm giving every deputy a right. And by the way, I do have a .50 caliber machine gun that I bought 10 years ago. You do know that.
No,
what agency has that? I have. I'm ready for action if I need a .50 caliber machine gun. And everybody says, you carry a gun. This is the only gun I carry. I don't carry. I shouldn't say this. I have a security problem.
I think you're safe here.
Well, I don't know. Everybody doesn't like the sheriff.
So I totally get the thing. You don't want your deputies to be outmanned or out firepowered. How were those guns purchased? How were they paid for?
Well, we bought them. Isn't it great? I have to thank every dope peddler that we arrest because we take the money from the dope peddler. I'm using their money. Why should I use taxpayers' money? Remember, I ran a small business and we did pretty good. So my wife is a good manager, still is. And she's a colonel in my posse. I swore her in. And so I get free security every night. She used to start my car, but a guy put a bomb in my car about 8 years. You remember that?
That's up in the old neighborhood.
Yeah, well, that's when they threatened. No, that was when they had a
the big spider thing, yeah.
We thought there was a bomb in a spider that was put in front of my door. That was that neighborhood. I have no problems at Fountain Hills.
That's why we both moved. Well, and you know what? I know animals are you have a huge soft spot in your heart for animals. Talk a little bit about your MASH unit, your
First of
animal
all, Mahatma Gandhi said you judge the morality of a country the way you treat their animals. So, you know, several years ago, Awatuki, they were killing all the cats, drinking the blood. So I sent my pet posse down there. We took care of that. And then I decided to form a special detective unit to arrest people that abuse animals. I needed a place to put them. We had a jail, air-conditioned, old, so I kicked all the inmates out, threw them in a tent, so I had a place to put the dogs. So every dog has its own cell. I don't double bunk dogs, I double bunk inmates. And so then I have a cat section too.
Yeah, don't say have a cat house. That wouldn't
No,
be good.
wait a minute. Yeah, the inmates, I have the inmates take care of the animal. They put a big heart, Sheriff Joe's cat house. Trying to get the TV to film it every time they go in, but they won't do it. They'll do other things, but they won't do that. So I'm very tough. I don't give them a ticket. They go in handcuffs directly to jail. And that's the way I operate to try to protect the animals. They're victims. Somebody has to look out for them, and that's my program. The inmates learn how to love the animals, a two-way street. It works both ways. I can't put a horse in a cell, so I put the horses in the tents and have the inmates take care of it.
That's great. Well, I know that, you know, in the summertime, I love your response to this. You always have the people that say it's inhumane to put the inmates in the tents, it's too hot, and your response to that is always...
What do you mean too hot? It's only 138 degrees in the tents, but it's about 140 in Iraq and Afghanistan. So my response is, our men and women are fighting for our country. They live in tents, so shut your mouth and quit complaining about the convicted, they're all convicted, living in the tents. By the way, I have to get a celebrity tent, because I do have celebrities sometimes that come to the tents.
Yes.
I'm not going to get into the list.
Yeah, let's not mention by name.
But big singers, basketball, baseball, movie actors. But you have to treat everybody the same. I can't discriminate against because you're a big shot or something. So, and I slept in the tents twice myself, voluntarily. Ate the food, which I don't know, it wasn't too good. And I have to apologize to all of you here, since you're all in business, want to make a profit. Our meals went up to from 50 cents a day. Now they're up to 80 cents a day. So I'm going to start charging them for their food. Anybody watch this TV thing?
Yeah.
When's that coming out?
It's
Quick?
on as we speak.
What?
No, I'm kidding.
So I'm going to charge all the inmates for their food. Actually, we're going to charge them $1, make a few cents over. So why can't they pay? You guys want to go to jail, you're going to have to pay a little for your bologna sandwich and your hot meal at night. That's the way it goes. You got to pay for your coffee. I took away coffee years ago, took away porno, took away salt, took away pepper. Took away a lot of things. Why do you have to live better in jail? You guys are struggling, try to make money to raise your family and all that, and these guys want cable TV and all this jazz. Doesn't work. We do have religious programs, the only high school in the nation under a sheriff, believe it or not. GED programs, Read to Me Mommy. I got so many different programs, but nobody will talk about it because they're nice. They're nice programs, but that's okay. I don't want to lose my title of the toughest sheriff.
Exactly.
I don't want to be called the nicest sheriff in America. So.
You have an image to uphold.
And I'll tell you, any of you would like to take a tour, if you think I'm conning you, if you would like to visit the tents, hey, we'll take you through. Go through. Go talk to the inmates and look at it. I don't care. So that's, anybody, I don't know who's in charge of this Chamber of Commerce. If you're interested, do it. Don't do it in the summer. It's a little hot.
And do it the right way as a visitor and not a tenant. I bet you, I'm just going to go out on a limb here, I bet we might have a question or two from the audience. Anybody like to ask the world's toughest sheriff a question? Yes, sir.
Whether we should utilize drones? I don't know. I'm sure I have authority. I'm the sheriff. I'm elected. What are they going to do to me? They're investigating me every day anyway, so what's another investigation? So the drones, I don't know. They're supposed to have them at the border. Everybody says nobody's coming over. Every day we're locking up illegal illegal smugglers. We locked up 5 more coming into our county. We do it every day. We put press releases out. Do you think anybody would report it? And they're felonies. We put them in our jail, human smuggling. Nobody talks about it. When you lock up 18 people on anything that's a felony, you would think somebody would put it in the newspaper. But it's very interesting. When we do it, it doesn't get in there. But that's another matter with the news media. But no, every day we're arresting those coming into our country. Just again, 1,000 pounds of marijuana a couple of days ago, and 6 tons of marijuana, and 99% of the people smuggling the drugs in are illegally coming into our country. So there is a connection between illegal immigration and the drug traffic. There's a big connection.
Great question. Yes?
Oh, tough question.
The question
Very
was
smart question. If I had my way, how would I secure the border? First of all, it's very interesting. We must secure the border. Your kids know you must secure your house. But then they say first. You notice a new word? First? What does that mean? And then we will look at comprehensive immigration. Well, you're never going to secure the border completely. I know that. I spent all that time in. But I have my own way of doing it, which would be very controversial that nobody wants to talk about. I talked to the media about this. When I was in Mexico City, I had a great relation with the Attorney General and the President, even though they hated us because G. Gordon, Liddy, and I closed that border under Nixon almost, and they hated us. I went over there. Attorney General hated us. I had agents working undercover, gun battles, everything else. So the Attorney General, how do I get back in his good stead? Have him over the house, feed him blueberry pie. He loved blueberry pie. A little shot of whiskey on the side. I got more done with blueberry pie in the big stick. So that's how you do it. Go in the back room and have a beer, light up a stogie, and that's how you get things done. So that's what I would do if I was a president. I'll take a few trips to Acapulco, meet the president. They say, listen, Mr. President, if you want to help, we will help you. We will send our Army or Border Patrol across the border, work with your Army, and we're going to clean up this mess, which we used to do years ago. We were operational, not just with a briefcase. Get over there, work together on that side, and get this problem resolved. You know that will never happen. That's one way to get it done. So I don't know. We have to keep, they do a pretty good job. The feds do. Try to do the best they can. But it's never going to be secure. I don't care how many fences you put up there and all the talk on drones and everything else, they're still coming across. Drugs still coming across, illegal aliens still coming across. But you can't give up. Greatest country in the world. Never have a defeatist attitude. You will never have a defeatist attitude in business, I would hope. Keep working hard, make that money, and I feel sorry for you because of the way the economy is now. You're all hurting, but you'll get back there. Be a little innovative, do some things a little different. As long as it's legal, and have fun. Have fun running your business. I have fun being the sheriff. You don't just want to go to work just to make some money, too. You want to be successful and have a challenge and work together. So I really respect all of you. I just wish things could get better, and it will get better. And after being in business for 1980? Gee, that's a long time. I'm talking my wife's business. We've been married 56 years.
I was going to say that. I know you guys.
And I have to thank my wife because she's never complained. I've been in law enforcement 50 years, gun battles and everything else. My wife has never said, how come you're never home? You know, I don't get nagged. I'm just lucky. So I can work 14 hours a day as a sheriff. I don't have to worry about my wife saying, you're not home tonight. You think more of your job than you do me and all that jazz. But you put up some stuff up there. What was that, marriage?
Yeah.
Would you like my
Yeah, I want to hear
how
your.
to stay married?
I want to hear your.
It's not because, don't ever say it because I never see my wife. That's not true. But I think, I don't know, I've just been lucky. I have 2 kids, 4 grandkids of all different, for security races, for security, I don't want to get into it, for all different ethnic backgrounds. So I don't know, I'm just lucky, I guess. I happen to have a wife that supports me, and you ought to thank my wife because that keeps me going. In fact, during the campaign, I spent a lot of money on commercials. I don't know if you've seen any of them. I hope you have. But I had my wife on for 1 week. I've been on 6 times. Nobody said I saw you on TV. Every time I saw your wife, your wife, your wife, your wife. I think she got me reelected. If I didn't have her on, what would I be doing now? I don't know, comedian, right?
Whenever my wife and I have an argument, we settle it with blueberry pie. Good way to go.
And a little Crescent beer.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I thank you. I know I'm looking at our watch, we're over time. You know what, we'll sneak in, if anybody's got one quick question for Sheriff Joe, otherwise we're going to turn him loose. He's got a full schedule today. Yeah, right there.
What was that?
On your opinion on the Jodi Arias trial, the big trial?
Yeah, she's been with me for 3 years. In fact,
I think that sums it up right there.
She's losing a little weight, too. But she did, we had what do you call it, the song, what is it, Fox had the inmate, the Idol, American Idol. I had Inmate Idol, and she won. She won the song.
Wow.
Remember I had the who was the one of the judges, me and Alice Cooper.
Oh yeah, Alice was one of the.
Yeah, he and we voted for her. So I don't know. She's pretty good singer, but I don't know. She's sure singing in court today.
Yeah. I like that.
What?
Well, that's good. I like that.
Better than you.
Hey. Well, boy, that's a good out right there. We really, seriously, I know you're a busy man, and the thing I love about Sheriff Joe, there's no gray areas. We know where you're coming from. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to come by. And ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause for the world's toughest sheriff, Sheriff Joe Arpaio.
Thank you.
And one more thing. One more thing I forgot. I know that a lot of times when people, you've got the pink boxers, and I felt, gosh, I should do something for you, so I'd like to give you my boxers from today.
Nylon or whatever.
Nylon.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, maybe not. Sheriff Joe Arpaio, thank you very much, Joe.
Thank you.
You're great. Thank you so much.